I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. And the voice I hear falling on my ears, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. My food forest brings me so much peace. I dreamed of having this food forest 10 years before I actually started it. You guys can do this too. It'll bring you so much peace and comfort. I can't explain it. It's unimaginable how I feel when I get up every day and go out to the food forest and check on everything. It seems like it gets more beautiful every day. I feel like I have a little piece of what heaven would be like when I come out to my food forest to pray, to meditate, to work. And no matter how tired I am, I keep working in it because I don't realize I'm as tired as I am until I'm finished. So I have to make myself take breaks so that I don't overwork myself. It's by no means finished. It's a work in progress. But work I really get satisfaction out of because I know that I can walk out to my garden, to my food forest on any given day and harvest groceries for the day or even for the week. It's a beautiful feeling to know that God created all of these unique plants and he has allowed me to be a steward over it. And that's the trash collectors picking up the trash like they do every Tuesday and every Friday. And I'm gonna try my best to get the cantaloupe and the watermelon planted in these containers today. And so I will be finished with planting my food forest starts and seeds for the spring. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. Let me show you what I have growing on in my food forest. Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here, and I'm going to take you around and show you a tour of my food forest in the beginning of spring. Every day, more and more green is happening in the food forest. Right here, you're looking at the tomato plants that I grew all of these from seeds, and I started them in March. And then I sprinkled some seeds in all of these little grow boxes here. These are some white icicle radishes. And of course you see some onions and marigolds and pepper plants. And I think I have a couple zinnias thrown in here. I love a lot of color and I never have to worry about pollinators pollinating my fruit and vegetables because I intermix them in with everything else. So you see me holding some peppers I've never grown before. These seeds were gifted to me, and when I told people I was going to have a gratitude garden this year, every year I have a theme. people just started sending me seeds that some I have never heard of. And I got all caught up and I didn't get an opportunity to label everything, but I walk around the food forest every day, several times a day, and I pull weeds. And if you're a senior citizen, you'll notice that I have platforms that I've made with carpenter sawhorses, and I don't have to bend or squat or do anything to tend to my garden. Right here, you're looking at some patty pan squash. And they're the bush type. I've had those seeds in the freezer for over 10 years. And those are heirloom zinnias. I don't bother even labeling the zinnias even more, because I just collect them all and put them in a container or a test tube and freeze them for the next year. And that's my Sisera magnolia tree. It'll bloom all year up until the first frost. Here you're looking at one of my brown turkey fig trees. They were pencil-sized cuttings when I rooted them originally. I may insert a picture and let you see, but I'm trying to shape it where it would be more like a hedge and not so much like a big robust tree. Right there are aronia berries. They're slow to come up. Those are Mexican petunias. And then you see some elderberries. I sent a lot of those cuttings out to people, my subscribers. And right here you're looking at my jujube tree. It bloomed and produced fruit for the first time. My son cut 10 feet off of it because it just grows like crazy, guys. And I'm going to trim all of that up at the bottom. And now you're looking at another elderberry bush, and it's right on the side of where my gate is, and right behind it is noble muscadines. Now, guys, look at this pear tree surrounded by all of these flowers that are going to come up. They're going to be purple echinacea and some poppy, as well as some Japanese sorrel. But this tree is 3 years old. It's the first time it's fruiting. Look right there where I'm pointing, that black area. That's where I cut it down. I cut this tree down to 2 feet. I fed it too much liquid nitrogen. You see all those aphids right there? Don't worry about it. I got something for it. It took me years, and that's why I cut it down on another branch. I mean, I cut it all the way down. You can look back in my videos. Guys, all you have to do is just spray those aphids with a full blast of water and drown them. And hopefully, if you have any ladybugs in your yard, they will be attracted to aphids because they like to eat them. And that's why I don't use chemicals in my yard anywhere in my food forest. Okay, so now I'm just blasting them off. I used to spray it with neem oil and dish soap. I don't do that anymore. All I do is blast them with water and pray that the ladybugs will find them. And yeah, just blast it with water. Now, right here, what I'm doing is I'm watering my noble muscadines. I have 2 plants in the ground, 2 vines. And guys, I ran out of time. I had so much to do that I could not secure my muscadines. And they ended up traveling all the way down that bench, as well as 2 other trellises. Right there, what I'm pointing at, those are the Concord grapes that got black rot, and I cut them down, but I'm gonna have to pay somebody to dig them up. Right now you're looking at Mexican petunias and comfrey, as well as the eggplant that I transplanted in this bed surrounded by the fence. And I'm just giving everything a little drink of water, even though rain is in the forecast. You never know about North Texas. We may just get a few drops. So I know that everything needs some water. So that's what I'm doing right now. And right over here, you're going to see that comfrey is going to come back real vigorously. It's going to be a sea of comfrey before it's over with. Now, I'm zooming in closer to those pawpaw trees because I showed them to you the other day. But I want you to see how many blooms are on them now. And I really got my fingers crossed, and I've said a prayer. I think we may get a few pawpaws for the very first time. So right now, I'm showing you, I'm going over here. Now look at over there. You see those? Those are grapevines. Those are Thompson grapes that I cut down. They never bloomed. They never made any grapes. They got black rot too. And I really am going to break on down and finally pay somebody to dig those up. This apple tree has fire blight. It's not doing well. I kept cutting it and cutting it and cutting it, but you see it's trying to make a comeback. This will be the last year I'm going to give it a chance to try to grow, because I see some black rot at the base of the tree trunk. Here is my eyesore where all my junk is, right on the side of my shed, and I'm gonna take care of that for once and for all. I gave a friend, Monica, 20 of those 5-gallon pots that you get at Home Depot and other big box stores, but I'm going to give more of those old containers I got packed up back there. I'm going to sit them out in the front, and people will come by and pick them up. This is an apple tree. It really produced huge apples. I hope I can find a picture and I'll insert one right in here. And here's another apple tree in a container. And right there, that was a little switch. It is a San Rosa plum tree. And I bought it on sale at Stock Brothers for $9.99. And when I tell you it was a switch, it was a switch. And it is loaded with pears. This is the one that my son cut down tremendously. And he was teasing me when I told him that he can cut as much as he wanted to cut off of it. Yeah, so we're going to have if the Lord say the same, we're going to have a lot of pears and a lot of plums, peaches, nectarines, muscadines, strawberries, blackberries, mulberries, Fuyu persimmons, Yates persimmon, and a lot of other fruit too, guys. And I'll be bringing you along once a week, or maybe every 2 weeks. I'll do a little tour of the food forest so you can see how everything is filling in. Because, I mean, it is really growing well. Mexican petunias there. They come back every year. Okay. And you probably notice I have chairs all around the food forest. In on those pawpaws again, because I am just tickled, because I've never seen that many flowers on the pawpaws. Here is asparagus, and I'm gonna taste it and let you all hear me smack it in a few minutes. So here's another pear tree. Excuse me, just showing you all, we have a lot of them. And when you first start growing fruit trees, you're not really sure of what the fruit looks like. But after a while, you know, you notice it, and you know how the fruit looks, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You have never eaten freshly harvested asparagus, you should try it. Now, it's coming up a little bit yellow on the screen. It's not, it's green. And it has a sweet, nutty flavor, almost like a sweet cashew. At least that's what it tastes like to me. Real crunchy. It is delicious. You don't have to stir fry it. You can just eat it raw, right out of the garden. I kid you not. It is delicious. Sorry for talking with a mouth full, but I can't help it. Very crunchy, crisp, sweet, and nutty. That's what it tastes like to me. Kind of like cashews. I love it. Here's another look at my citrus trees. And I'll probably insert some pictures, some close-ups, so that you can see. And I'm giving them a little wash off with some water, just in case we had any aphids to try to infest these gentle trees. There's only one tree I'm having a little problem with, and that's that one right there. You see a little yellowing. I don't know if it came from not enough iron, which I had suspected, and I gave it some chelated liquid iron, and it cleared up, but then it started back again. It might be in a container that's too big, and it might be getting too much water. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. Okay, all of stuff that you're looking at right here is stuff I overwintered in the greenhouse. I sowed with Brian and Bria some of those Morning Glory seed pods in the greenhouse when it was very cold outside, to get a head start on the flowers this season, and the begonias, they are left over from last year as well, and I overwintered them. And right there, what you're looking at was chicory, and I use it in my tea. It will lower your blood sugar. Another good look at my magnolia tree and citrus trees, and yeah, they're doing real good. Okay, so now I want to show you my medley plums, one in a half 55-gallon container, and then the other one over here is in the ground. It's got some little offshoots I'm gonna have to prune. I'm gonna have to prune these right here that are coming from under the bottom of this tree. You can see a few plums. Let me go bigger so you can see them. The wind has knocked them down. I used to get real upset, guys. I don't get upset anymore when I see plums falling down because I know that's a part of nature, and some of them are still gonna hold on. Okay, so look here. They're really getting big. I'm gonna minimize it to 1 so you can see that I'm not exaggerating. They're getting big, and then I'll make it bigger so you can see that's what it is multiplied. That's how it looks. Let's get back to 1. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of plums. Hopefully we'll be able to make some jam or preserve this year. Last year, my grand angels and I, we just ate them. And the last of April, the 1st of May, they'll be ready. So that was 2 methyny plums. Let me show you where the other one is. Over here in my junky part of the food forest. Don't judge me, I still got cleaning up to do. Some plums fell down from this container, but this tree has the most plums on it. This is the one that was real plentiful last year. So every year, the harvest will get better and better. Let me make that larger so you can see. They're pretty. It's such a wonderful feeling to plant a tree, guys, that looked like a little switch when you got it, and then to see it grow and mature. You can see the birds have been pecking over here already. That's okay. They have to have some. We're gonna have to share with nature. That's what permaculture is all about. That's how God intended. The birds gotta eat too. So I don't freak out over it no more. I used to. I will be honest. I used to say, dang on the squirrels and birds getting all of my fruit. But this tree is loaded, and it's been severely pruned. That's the wonderful blessing about all of this. I finally let go of the fear of pruning my fruit trees. Okay, let me show you my persimmon. When Brian and Bree were helping me, I told them just dump everything back here, and then on the weekend we will clean up all of this area here. This is my Yates persimmon. You can see why I severely pruned it. We just got a few persimmons off of this tree last year, and the squirrels basically got them. It is an American persimmon, and then this is the prettiest tree in the whole food forest. I love the feel of it. I almost lost my Fuyu persimmon. It's an Asian persimmon tree. I think it's Japanese. And when we had the polar freeze, February 3rd, 2020, this tree almost died, but it survived, and we got a couple dozen pieces of fruit. It's responding really well this year. And I'm gonna go closer so you can see these little clusters right here. Those will actually be the flowers that will produce the fruit. And so right now, it's looking really good. Fuyu persimmons are delicious, but they're temperamental. If they have shock to them with the weather, and usually that's it because they don't get too much insect damage, and I don't have any problems with diseases or funguses or anything like that. You don't even have to fertilize them. I give them a little comfrey once a year, comfrey tea. However, they have a real long tap root that can go down and pull up nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that other trees can't reach. Kind of like your comfrey, the mimosa tree. Let you get a better look at that mimosa tree. Let me see if I can walk over here. You can see it better, how extensive the branches are. This tree grows about 36 inches a year, and I have it kind of pulled together with a bungee cord. I may eventually have to pulled that branch all the way through. But wait till you see those oriental silky looking flowers that come on it. It has never bloomed flowers yet because I grew it from seed. There's 2 trees right there in the ground, and it takes about 3 to 5 years for them to actually put on the beautiful flowers, and they are edible and they attract hummingbirds. And so this will be a good cover, a good canopy over this pear tree. And I can't say enough about this pear tree. First time it's ever fruited, and I almost threw it away. I moved it several times. A smaller container, a bigger container, and then finally here, when my Gala apple tree died from the polar freeze 2020, I decided to take it out of container. I said, I'm gonna give it 1 more year. Thank you, Jesus, I didn't throw it away. And it got stronger, and it's fighting off the infection of too much nitrogen, as I previously stated. And it's gonna bloom out even more. You can see these little fruiting buds right here. So this tree is loaded with fruit. I may have to thin it out. I don't know if it can accommodate all of that. It's pretty sturdy tree. Guys, this is the pear tree that I washed off with a full I scared the ladybug. There she goes, looking for aphids. So when you know you have a organic food forest and you don't use insecticides and pesticides, I'm just trying to show you where those aphids were the other day. I sprayed them off and drowned it with water, but the ladybugs will find them. Your ladybugs will find them in your food forest, and they will go to work eating those aphids. I think it's very important to share this with you. I'm just taking a little walk around the food forest, just checking things out. When I saw that ladybug, I went, yes, you're on the job. Okay, so I'm ordering my strawberries, and I'm continuing with my breakfast in the food forest. Delicious strawberries. I eat a couple of them every day. Let's wash these off. And honey, they are super, super sweet. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Freshly harvested strawberries. Let me see if I can find one over here. I doubt it. Excuse me for smacking, but this is where I was eating my breakfast yesterday. I need a couple more days. These are the little rocks I got off eBay to fool the birds. I move them around so that they can try to come and peck on them, and then they'll go away if they get past the owls. And you gotta move your owls around every few days or so. I don't know if you see that. Yeah. I move that owl a little bit, move this one. They're gonna try to come back and get these berries, but I'll be out here tomorrow morning. The onions smell real pungent, smell good. Guys, if you're new to gardening, when they start producing seeds, it's time to harvest them. But I'm not going to. I'm just gonna pinch off the seed pod, because I'm not planting these or growing these for the food, which I can use as green onions. Come and cut again, but I'm growing these just to companion plant to deter slugs. And you can see the remnants of the eggshells I ground up and crushed and put in here. So far, not one strawberry has been bitten this year, but I downsized. I usually have more strawberries growing than this, but my little garden strawberry girl Bria started school, as you know, a few years ago, so I can't eat that many strawberries. Okay. I also wash these off and put these little seed pods in your salad to give it a good onion flavor, or in a stir fry. And put these right here. I'll come back and collect them later. I shared these trees with you yesterday, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much and let you just take another good look, since I'm doing a tour of the food forest of 2 cherry trees over there, Windsor Sweet and Rainier. And then we have 2 Red Haven Peach and 1 Sunglow Nectarine that's real tall. We're going to get a lot of fruit this year. Okay, here we have some sunflowers and lemongrass. And yesterday, Brian and Bree and I put a lot of comfrey in these beds so that we don't ever have to fertilize it again. Everything that you're looking at right here is free. These begonias were overwintered. Excuse my finger there. They were overwintered in the greenhouse. That is chicory, Italian dandelion. Came back from last year. And of course, the morning glories. We opened up some seed pods in the greenhouse, Brian and Bree and I, and we planted the seed pods, and we're continuing on with more morning glories. Absolutely free. I don't know if I showed you this. Rutabaga, turnips, red mustard greens. I watered this so it's leaning. A lot of basil. These are 2 more mimosa trees I got to get into containers. Just like those giant ones I showed you I started 3 years ago. I'm going to give one of these away to one of my subscribers. And let's see. This was a gift. This is a cherimoya tree, anonymous gift to someone. Here's basil. Look at that zinnia. Is that not beautiful? And then we have patty pan squash, and we actually have a couple that has been, you see it right there, that has been pollinated. And there's some over here too. I'll show them to you in another video. And this is that variegated purple basil with a little onion. And we're getting Texas blackberry. We're gonna have fruit this year. And it's growing really well. And what I did was I put 2 tomato cages together. So that's cool. Okay. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off? I absolutely adore my gorilla card of herbs. The rosemary and the sage came back from last year. And all of the other things I have in here, I planted them by seed. Flat and curly parsley, basil, dill, to attract monarch butterflies. Okay, guys, I gotta show you this. These were those banana plants I had in the greenhouse. Look how well they're doing now. I may put them back in the Pear area, I'm not sure. But they're doing really, really well. And these 2 tall 25-gallon pots. Sunflowers here, lemongrass. I think I shared this with you before. The 2 Asian pear trees, the hedge of brown turkey figs, the prayer garden is doing well over here. And then of course we have some black mulberries and native Texas plums over there. Got some more work to do in this area. Got plenty of ginger in a pot. There's some ginger down there I gotta put in a pot. I know I'm talking down. It's a lot of work. Got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do, but I'm happy. So I'm just giving everything a little water because it looks like it's gonna rain. You never know about North Texas. It could look like it's gonna rain and then we get a few drops. So now I'm in the greenhouse, and we got broccoli over here going to seed, and some peppers I need to harvest, jalapeno, and California Wonder, and some basket tomatoes I gotta harvest, as well as some lettuce. Whoop, drop that one. Pretty soon I'm gonna take these tomatoes out so I don't have to keep watering in here. I like to pull them when they get about this ripe because they ripen real fast. I may try this one. That's a nice little green one. I could have waited a little bit longer on that one. But once they start blushing, I don't chance it to birds or something getting them. Once they blush, I'll just go ahead on and harvest them. Because it's too much for me to be doing and I'll forget. Like I harvested some the other day and they were ripe in one day. I sent them to my daughter by house for her and her husband by Brian and Bria. Okay, I'm done in here. Let's go show you the apple trees. Okay guys, I'm finishing up the tour. These are my Hinomaki red gooseberries from Stark Brothers. I'm going to put these in the ground this season. This is the last of the banana plants that I overwintered in the greenhouse. I'm going to take this banana plant and I'm going to put into that large container there. And then I have 2 bay laurel trees with some volunteer ground cherries. I'm going to put these in a larger pot as well. 2 different pots. Over here are 2 apple trees. I'm still working on this bed. As you can see, I started it. And I'm going to have society garlic to keep the squirrels off of my apples. My apple trees here. And I see right down there at the bottom, you can see something growing from the graft portion. I'm gonna get that out. You can see some roots growing up here, probably from the graft. I'm gonna cut them all out. And I'm going to put all of that society garlic all through here. And this is the saffron that's going to come back next year. I'm just going to leave them in those 2 pots. Okay. And I think I've shown you everything. I'm going to take all of this off. This tree is fruiting. And we don't want any fruit way down there. This is a plum tree. So it's got a lot of fruit on it. Let's concentrate on what, we have already established and let it grow. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll share with you when I clean up my sore spots. The world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.